What's up, everybody? GameJunkieXL here again. This isn't a ramble, and this isn't gameplay footage. This isn't anything. Like most of you, I've been paying attention to a lot of this Xbox versus PS4 crap. As I've said previously, and you guys should know already who watch my channel, I'm a PC gamer. However, I'm really excited for the next generation of consoles. Yes, obviously. I mean, I'm on the fence. I'm not a fanboy of Microsoft, and I'm not a fanboy of Sony in the console genre. So I'm in medium ground, okay? I'm in a PC perspective, looking over everything that's going on. And theoretically, I don't have to pick a side, because, I mean, everybody has preferences. Everybody has this or that, or why one's better than the other. But recently, you guys know that Xboxone took huge fucking slack and criticism. And I'm going to take this time, actually, because I don't have any hate for it. You know, maybe some of you guys saw a comment I posted on a Don Matrick interview, the 8-minute long version of it that actually was taken at E3. Where I said that Microsoft should take a note from Squaresoft and fire the whole team responsible for who's behind this console, like Square did with Final Fantasy XIV's initial launch. And I meant that. I really did. Let me explain why. Most of you guys know whatever. You know, all the bullshit Microsoft's pulling and saying, oh yeah, this is going to be this way, DRM and everything. We're not going to go into that, because you can typically search on YouTube and find 6,000 videos of the exact same topic. So what we're going to do is actually talk a little bit more relatively about things. Now first, my bro, Lugus Tyrannus, who you guys know a little bit about. He'll be on more co-op and Let's Plays and things like that in the future, but you know, he's in my introduction video and everything. He sent me a link on Steam, actually, and it seems that Microsoft has reverted and said, no, we fucked up, we understand that, and now all of a sudden there's no DRM. You don't have to connect to the internet only but once when you initially have the console, which is better. It's still not optimal, because that still doesn't solve the issue of people who live in rural communities who just don't have the internet to connect it to. There still is that basis of you have to connect the first time you boot it up, okay? So that's not 100% great, but they have went leaps and bounds above their original policies and reformed the whole conceptual design behind the system. Used games, you guys know we're going to be in that friends and family bullshit about how, you know, games will have to be, you know, they can be traded one time and blah 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 and all this bullshit, and you can't resell your games, you can't do anything. They've taken that all back and said, you know what, let's reform this, because we're pissing people off. Because Xbox people and even Sony people really raised such a ruckus, and you guys should be really proud of yourselves, because, you know, even if you intended to have the system reformed by saying we're not going to pre-order this, we're going to go over here now because, you know, pasture's greener over here, or the Sony people who came over and laughed in the faces of the Xbox people, or just initially just slammed Microsoft's design decision, you guys were key in the reformation of how this console was going to operate and everything of that nature. So you guys should give yourself a round of applause, because you really stood up and took action. And Microsoft, let's face it, they're not a mom and pop fucking organization. It's a big company. And for them to turn around and say, you know what, we got to think about this a little bit. We got to redo this to make people happy. That kind of shit doesn't happen with huge companies. Normally, So you guys should be very proud of yourselves. Now, I have mentioned before that I am going to get a PS4, and I'm pretty excited about it. So theoretically, this whole Xbox news and everything doesn't really affect me. I find the comments actually pretty funny. I just watched the Boogie video, Francis reacting to the whole news and everything, and reading the comments and everything, and now all of a sudden the Xbox fanboys, as they're called, come out and they're just slamming Sony. When a week ago, they were siding with Sony for the majority of them and saying we're going to get, this, but now they're reverting back, and now of course Sony fanboys are fighting back and everything. It's completely ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. If you really want to get technical, okay, now keep in mind I am a PC gamer, so obviously computing and thinking and graphically and everything like that, even though it's weird because these next generation consoles can't graphically match what's current on computer, whereas the last next gen console launch actually was better on par graphically and everything than what computers were able to pull out at that point. So I guess what I'm saying is good job, guys, on getting Microsoft to basically tuck their tails between their legs and fucking rethink their decisions. Even though I will say, even if I was an Xbox fanboy, if I was like, and I saw this news, I still wouldn't be generally excited about it, because this doesn't dictate that they can't change their policies 5, 6, 7 months after the console's launch and start reverting all of these changes. This could be like, a wolf in sheep's clothing. They could be saying, well, we got to get these consoles out the door, we got to make money off of these, and then once we've got them in homes and everything, then we can rechange it. This kind of shit's happened before, so you're not really out of the clear yet. And the simple fact that all the shit that they said at E3, how this was next gen, this was truly next gen, and they're taking steps to go into the future and all this other shit. And all of a sudden they're backing off of that and saying no, we were wrong. Okay, all throughout E3 you were saying you should come with Xbox One or stick with your Xbox 360, because let's throw that salt on the wound, shall we? Because they said that their system was going to be technically futuristic. This is how gaming is advancing, this is how things are going to be, and they're going to take the progressive step to pull this out first. And now they're backpedaling and saying, no, we were wrong. We're not going to do that anymore. We're going to completely turn everything around and change how this operates and everything like that. That makes me kind of not trust in their console decision. Because personally, when you take that much time to design for a system and get the specs and everything and get it where it, is presentable, and then just to turn around and say, no, we fucked up, let's remake this whole thing. That's not really a trustworthy business decision, honestly. I would have given them more credit if they had stuck to their guns and said, we're right, people will eventually catch on and say that. And if they honestly believed in their system and what they were trying to initially do, like they said they were, they wouldn't have pulled the plug on this thing and reverted it. Because in their business model, they said people will eventually understand where they're going with this and they will catch on. And everybody will be happy about it. So initially right there, they lied to everybody. They've been lying to everybody all throughout E3 and everything. And it's just right now it's coming back. Now, that's not saying I'm not happy for you guys or Xbox, I'm going to pre-order Xbox and all this stuff. That doesn't mean I'm not happy for you. Because truthfully, it's the same thing as like with PC, when it was the same thing when I initially went away from my console to a PC and became a hardcore PC gamer. I suffered the same thing. PC gamers didn't want the influx of console gamers coming to PC for the majority of the part. Because when you get into consoles or computers or whatever you play with, you have a community aspect, a certain type of community. And when you mix those communities, and it might sound prejudiced or racist, but it's just the nature of the beast. If Xbox fans, if they hadn't to change their policies and they had all went over to Sony, okay, and expanded on that community and the two had melded, it would have took a long time to get that community back to stable ground where, you know, there wasn't constant arguing and fighting about this or that or this or that between it. So it's not really, you know, let people stay where they're happy and what they know, you know. It doesn't technically matter which console is better or worse on the technical side, because a PC is always going to outdo them. It's the exclusives that drive the platform that make it special, in all honesty. And anybody who disagrees with that is obviously stubborn and technically stupid, because that's the only reason really to own one over another, is the exclusives for it. Because you can't get, you know, you like Halo, obviously you're going to be a Microsoft fan, an Xbox fan. You can't get that on PlayStation. That's where I'm coming from with this.
I got a dream from the deep inside. I got my worst angels come alive, destroying all the way alive, infecting all the way.